commenced on Tuesday. We bring you on-the-ground coverage from our reporters. And core Eurozone inflation edged up in March, while inflation in UK remained above 10% on rent and food prices. Hello and welcome to this edition of Global Business on CGTN. I'm Guan Xing in Beijing. And first up in the program, China's economic development got off to a good start in the first quarter, reflecting the resilience and vitality of China's economy. The country's top economic planner briefed the media on economic performance and future plans on Wednesday. In this
promote the development and growth of the private economy, stabilize foreign trade, and make greater efforts to attract and utilize foreign investment.
According to official data, the retail sales of consumer goods went up 5.8% year-on-year in the first quarter, and in March alone, it jumped 10.6% year-on-year. Officials said while the consumer market got off to a good start, the driving force for the continuous recovery of consumption needs to be further boosted.
At present, we're stepping up research and drafting of policy documents on the recovery and
As international organizations such as the World Bank and the IMF raised expectations for China's economic growth, industry experts are expecting it could bring more opportunities and help a slumping world economy. Gang, CGTN, Beijing.
To bolster economic development, Shanghai has announced a series of preferential policies aimed at improving the business climate. One of the latest is its Business Environment 6.0 action plan, putting forward 195 measures to help companies manage financial burdens and other economic problems. In Junyi has more.
Officers called us and helped us get in touch with suppliers and retailers through a new online service platform. And now, around 10% of our clients are from this platform.
And
this newly launched service is available to companies outside Shanghai as well.
We have been working with taxation departments in Wujiang and Jiashan, sharing companies' tax data and analyzing their capacity and targeted clients. That is to help companies in the same sector better connect with each other.
For a stock market listing, Shanghai has just put forward an online credit reporting service, which makes it easier for them to get all the necessary documents to apply to the stock exchange.
We are now applying for listing on A-share market. The process has been simplified. We can now get all our company certificates, showing we've committed no illegal acts, on this online platform. Previously, we had to apply for those certificates at different administrative bodies and assemble them. The new rules hugely reduce the time we have to spend on the list.
In Shanghai.
The first phase of the 133rd China Import and Export Fair, also known as the Canton Fair, wrapped up on Wednesday. This year's event is the first offline exhibition in 3 years. Held in 3 phases through May the 5th, it is also the largest in history, with a record number of exhibition areas and exhibitors. The first phase of the expo attracted more than 1.1 million offline visitors, with the next phase slated to commence on Sunday. The COVID-19 pandemic dealt a blow to international trade and disrupted supply chains around.
At the Canton Fair, we can communicate with old and new customers and show them our latest products. We can also see the latest trends in our industry and stay competitive.
After staying mostly online for the past 3 years, the Canton Fair has now fully resumed in person, with a bigger than ever exhibition area and higher visitor flows. And that means more opportunities for Chinese companies.
During the past 2 years, we have focused on developing our innovative 3-dimensional oven and outdoor barbecue.
A good thing for everyone.
And the return of face-to-face contact and deal-making is also being welcomed by Chinese officials.
大家都说千封邮件不如
1,000 emails can't compare with one face-to-face meeting. Some businesses have completed sales deals on the first morning. Many are reporting that they are seeing a greater number of transactions than in previous years.
The Canton Fair is China's oldest international trade fair. In its 6 decades of history, it's been helping suppliers, especially Chinese suppliers, find international buyers. And although there are many other means to promote China's international trade right now, the Canton Fair still remains very popular.
Tech mavericks and policymakers. We drill down on their success. We ask how they set strategy and how they navigate in an increasingly competitive market. Real talk, real business. Join the conversation. Biz Talk, only on CGTN.
The 20th Shanghai International Automobile Industry Exhibition is still
and minds.
At the Auto Shanghai 2023, I'm taking a look at the future of driving.
The industry now has a 6-level rating system for autonomous driving, with level 0 meaning no automation and level 5 meaning full automation.
For mass production nowadays, we are talking more about level 1 and level 2.
Those are still low levels of automation, with humans required to monitor most of the driving tasks. But the industry is pushing ahead with automation step by step. You may have heard of the eyes of a car, meaning the cameras to monitor surrounding objects. In real driving situations. What matters the most is the central computing system.
Why that? Because that's the brain of autonomously driving cars, and it will need to have an immense processing power.
The Pro AI automotive supercomputer was first launched 2 years ago, also at the Shanghai Auto Show. And this year, to prepare for high demand in the Chinese market, they've brought a localized version with more sensors to realize a higher level of automation. With new hardware and software crucial to the in China. Wu Bin, CGTN, Shanghai.
Dozens of new electric vehicles are making their debut at the Shanghai Auto Show, accelerating the electrification drive in the world's largest car market. And this is also piling the pressure on existing players at a simmering price war dents their profitability. Our reporter Zhang Shixuan takes a tour at the auto show and finds out more about the future growth engine.
Walking around, there are EVs everywhere you look. This year's auto show coincides with the growth
And with more people driving our cars, functions such as automatic parking will be optimized via data algorithm in the cloud. The new model has 34 sensors and a computing capacity of 400 TOPS, so future upgrades are possible.
Avatar Technology, a partnership between Chang'an Auto, tech giant Huawei, and battery maker CATL, is attending the Shanghai Auto Show for the first time, showing off its latest EV models. The company announced that it will upgrade its automated driving system and operation system in cooperation with Huawei in the second half of the year.
to the mass market. Most models to hit the market during the previous years have been priced between 100 and 300,000 yuan. And while these prices have been slashed this year, we're also seeing some luxury car makers releasing their EVs with price tags as high as several million yuan.
At the ongoing auto show, Italian automaker Maserati staged the global debut of its new electric SUV model. Its first electric sports car also made its Asian debut in Shanghai. It comes with an almost 2 million yuan price tag.
China has become the biggest electrification market in the world. The more the customer accepts
will be electric powered by 2030. Zhang Shuxuan, ICS for CGTN, Shanghai.
China's new energy vehicle market saw strong expansion during the first 3 months of year. Industry data shows that both output and sales of NEVs surged more than 26% from a year ago in the January to March period. NEVs accounted for 26% of the country's auto market during the same period. Meanwhile, China's NEV brands are becoming more competitive in global markets. Exports of green vehicles more than doubled to 248,000 units. Areas, as well as setting up pilot zones for electrification of public vehicles. And now we're heading for another short break, still to come on the program. Core Eurozone inflation edged up in March, while inflation in the UK remained above 10% on rampant food prices.
The world economy as we know it is about to change. Global business reports highlight emerging markets, developing countries, and dynamic sectors worldwide.
Slowed down in March, with consumer inflation in the 20 nations sharing the euro easing to 6.9%, primarily due to a rapid fall in energy costs. Across the English Channel, inflation continued to ease in the UK, but still recorded a double-digit growth at 10.1% in March. That's attributed to surging food and housing costs. In South Africa's headline, consumer inflation rose to 7.1% year-on-year in March, extending an increase for a second month. The country's central bank has rolled out a series of interest rate hikes in a bid to curb stubbornly
stressed the company's essential strategy in her first keynote speech as rotating chairwoman.
About 55% of economic growth is expected to be driven by the digital economy by 2025. In the face of such digital opportunities, Huawei will maintain investment in connectivity, computing, storage, and the cloud.
Meng also outlined the roadmaps for the company's digital transformation.
By 2030, we expect the number of total global connectivity to exceed 200 billion. Our goal is to help organizations go digital in 4 stages: digitizing operations, building digital platforms, building intelligent platforms,
second reading this week after it was passed by a margin of 361 to 69 votes the first time. So we've asked an expert to explain how much pressure will this have on Huawei and what's Huawei's way out once the measure comes into law.
I think Huawei should continue to do what it does well, which is to innovate and go to markets in friendly countries. I mean, the most fastest growing economies in the world are non-Western countries. You know, they're Brazil, BRICS countries, Africa, and Huawei is pretty successful there. So, you know, I think that you know, this is a reaction to geopolitical rivalry.
Experts predict Huawei will continue to see success worldwide, success despite pressure and politics. Xu Hua, CGTN.
In Shangcheng County in central China's Henan province. The first green tea leaves in its 33 hectares of farm are ready for harvest. Tea sprouts harvested around Qingming Festival on April the 5th always have the freshest flavor. Although they're the most expensive, it can't stop Chinese drinkers and tea makers pursuing a taste of spring.
All the tea farmers here are racing against the time to harvest the tea. They need to plant, pick, process, and sell the tea in a span 1.5 months.
Shangcheng County is one of the core production areas of China's renowned Xinyang Maojian tea. From picking to roasting tea leaves, Zhou is the 5th generation of his family.
In a rural area. Now more and more young people choose to come back and revitalize the countryside.
Now there are more than 620 tea companies and rural cooperatives with over 14,000 hectares of tea farms in Shangcheng County. In 2022, it has produced 5.2 million kilograms of tea, creating an economic value of 1.8 billion yuan. More than 120,000 residents are involved in the tea industry, providing them with regular income. China. They enjoy tea not merely as a daily beverage, but also for its greater significance in their social lives. Thanks to modern technology, the time spent in making tea is lesser now than it was before, making it easier to meet the huge demand.
Today, modern technologies have been widely introduced into various stages of tea processing, but many farmers insist on producing tea using manual labor.
Zhou Zhengxiang is one of the small number of people that want to learn the manual tea roasting skills. It's a tough job and takes time. He needs to adjust the roasting technique and time depending on his feel of moisture content of the tea leaves. But he thinks it's totally worth it, and he hopes Chinese traditional tea culture will continue to flourish. Xiao Ruixue, CGTN, Shangcheng County, Henan Province.
Starting this Friday, CGTN will resume its Fields of Hope coverage, and this time it will take us And that would do it for this edition of Global Business here on CGTN. Thank you for being with us. The Point with Liu Xin is coming up next. Stay tuned.